Hey there, Cara Banks with Tripp Isenhour here to talk a little bit more about those changes that came out of the World Golf Hall of Fame recently. Now, they have reduced the minimum age required for induction from 50 to 45. This comes after 4 years ago in 2016, they moved it from 40 to 50. So now they're kind of going halfway back on themselves. Why do we think they've done this? A certain man setting 45 years of age?
Eldrick Woods, Tiger Woods, I think they want to get in this Hall of Fame. And
Right.
they want him probably in the next class, but...
Well, let me just stop you right there. Is it weird that Phil Mickelson's already in the Hall of Fame and Tiger isn't?
Well, yeah, it is. Here's my problem with this, okay? You've got to put a line in the sand going forward. And it's not the Hall of very, very good, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, he clearly Hall. I'm not talking about Tiger.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, look, I think the LPGA's is a little too strict, but I like how it's not so subjective. I mean, it's objective in every way. Mm-hmm. You get the points, you're in.
Yeah, so they don't have a yearly or 2 yearly induction ceremony.
You hit the criteria, you're in.
Then you're in. Right, but the World Golf Hall of Fame has a set date where they have to induct a certain amount of people every time.
They do, and what is the standard? You know, I mean, I think they need to make a clear standard, and here's where I would do it. I would say, look, you need 20 worldwide wins on a major professional tour. Like, for example, the Korn Ferry Tour, the Japan Tour doesn't get it. Would either be on a PGA Tour or a European Tour.
20 worldwide combined.
Right, yeah. And you have to have a major and you can have a players as well. If you have 2 players, that counts for 1 major. Okay. I think if they just said, look, that's the criteria, so then it would be, okay, this guy has made the criteria, now he can get in. And that does make it a little bit more objective. And I think you put that line going forward that you need a major to get in. I think you do. I just do. I mean, there are a lot of really good players. Colin Montgomery, you know, he's in. Jumbo Ozaki's in. He's got, 97 wins in Japan. He didn't do anything outside of Japan.
But how much he's done for golf perhaps in his region is Hall of Fame worthy. The same with Colin Montgomery. Agreed, he didn't win a major. And looking at it from an outside perspective, you think you've got to have a major championship to get in the Hall of Fame. But you look at what Monty did for European golf, and that's unprecedented. Lee Westwood could be the same query in a few years' time. Is he Hall of Fame worthy? Does he need that major championship? He's certainly a legend.
Yeah, and he's 8th all-time on the European wins list.
Right.
I think it's no offense to those guys. They're very, very good, and they've done a lot for the game.
Right.
I get that, but is that what because there are people that aren't golfers that are in. I mean, Pete Dye's in.
Yes.
Ben Crosby's in. Bob Hope's in. George W. Bush is in. Those things, I get it. They were stewards of the game. They were doing things for the game. I'm talking about strictly from a competing, playing standpoint. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That criteria.
Okay, so would you, in this example, given that Monty's in, then it's hard not to put Westwood in.
Yes.
By the way, on that note, they also announced elimination of the veterans category and a new designation for the lifetime achievement, which is now a contributor recognition. So it could be a journalist, a course designer, architect, as there already are some in there. Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? I think it's weird that Phil Mickelson's in and Tiger isn't, and I don't really know how that came about.
Because the age used to be 40, and then when Tiger was after 40, they had raised it to 50, and now Phil and Ernie's in. I mean,
So Tiger is likely to be part of the next induction class. You would expect that will get announced later this year, but the ceremony will happen in 21, by which time he'll be 45.
Of course, Tiger Woods.
Okay,
is in.
And what an honor it is, by the way. I can only imagine to be in the Hall of Fame.
Completely, and I just, like I said, if we're going to have a playing criteria, I think you've got to at least put out parameters for going forward.
So you would like that to...
That's mine. I mean, you can change it. I mean, you could say 15 worldwide wins. Right. You could say, but I do think the wins have to be on a major tour, and by that I mean the European Tour or the PGA Tour. And that way you could say, okay, if you're at 15 in a major, then you're in, or if you're above 25, you're in on a worldwide wins. Yeah. You could put different parameters on it.
Because at the moment it just comes down to a committee's opinion.
Correct.
Right.
And there's people in that, because here's the thing, I look at Zach Johnson.
Yeah.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Retief Goosen just went in, and don't they have the same?
Do they? Does Retief have the same amount? Because he's got more European wins.
But in terms of major championships,
two majors,
right.
but and Zach's got 12 or 13 wins on the PGA Tour.
He's got the 2 majors I know of.
Right.
Yeah.
And 2 of which are major. I don't know where you would put it. Maybe north of 10 wins and
well, what age is Zach?
But see, he's probably.
He might be coming close to the new number.
He could be. Yeah. No, I would say Zach's probably closing in on 45.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's why he hasn't been in yet, just because it had returned to 50.
Yeah, and under my scenario of 20 wins, he would not be in, but would not be qualified. But
the issue is the people that are already inducted, isn't it?
That's where the water gets muddy.
Wouldn't meet the criteria that you set out.
Yes, because that's where it gets muddy.
Yeah.
And
you can't de-Hall of Fame someone.
No, you cannot. But I'm saying from this point forward,
you
could say, look, this is our criteria, and it's cut and dry.
Okay.
It's what it is. So if you pass them, and that's, it grandfather those in that are already in and say, look, they're in, and that was kind of, some of them are the Hall of Very, Very Good, but now we're the Hall of Fame going forward.
Tell me something, as a player, is the Hall of Fame on your mind as one of the things you want to tick off on your career?
No, it's
just a nice bonus.
It is a wonderful icing on the cake, and that's exactly what it is.
That should come in the later part of your career by saying icing on the cake.
Correct. And see, here's the problem with golf. I mean, you look at these guys that are getting in and they're still playing. See, that's the problem.
That's the thing that would happen with Phil.
Other sports, it doesn't happen because they're competing at a much younger age, and there's a line where they are not as competitive. You can play golf competitively into your 50s and 60s, as Bernhard Langer is showing. So it's
But maybe
different.
the end of your PGA Tour career. There's also a note saying that you can also have been retired for 3 years
Something
or more
along
and
those
not
lines.
that age. Okay, well, we will see.
Yes.
We'll find out, I guess, later this year who the next
Tiger Woods.
class will be.
Tiger Woods.
We'll find out together.